This is John Langellier, and I'm privileged to be part of the Buffalo Soldier Pathway here in the Cultural District of San Angelo, Texas. I first became aware of the Buffalo Soldiers back in the 1960s when Dr. Bill Leckie's book on the topic was released, and I also was privileged to interview a son of one of the officers at the fort, actually at Fort Grant, Arizona, where Frederick Remington had arrived and did his famous scout with the Buffalo Soldiers that appeared in a nationally syndicated magazine and kind of set the stage for the term being sent around not only the East Coast, but kind of brought a national lens to that particular topic. Hitherto, the Black soldier had been much overlooked, and particularly while the Civil War, over 180,000 Black soldiers plus had served in the Navy and the Army. The topic of the Black soldier waned for many years, and recently, since the 1960s forward, fortunately, their story began to be explored in depth in many places, including at memorials such as the new pathway that's being done. The first memorial was done essentially in the 1970s at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, and I'm sorry, at Fort Huachuca, Arizona, and by the 1990s, a major memorial dedicated by General Colin Powell was put at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. This memorial has many things that are different to it in that some of the memorials are not actually located at a historic site, and some memorials, most as a matter of fact, tend to be statuary, the monumental statue. The memorial here has two portions to it that make it almost unique in many respects, and that is to say, it's it's a three-dimensional book. It allows you to wander the trails of the Buffalo Soldiers, going from various points in a beautiful park-like atmosphere, with not only the large plinths that will be there, the memorials that have graphics, have information, labels, have maps and such, but also will be able to be accessed by QR codes to enrich that story. Secondly, the site is on the area of the old reservation of Fort Concho, arguably the most important site in the United States that was at one time or another all four of the Black regiments raised in 1869. And as a consequence, it's a step back into time. It's an educational opportunity that is not really found almost anywhere. The idea is also too that the people, after learning the preamble from this excellent pathway, can come over to the fort immediately adjacent and learn more about the life of the soldiers of the Frontier Army, the Buffalo Soldiers, and others, because the barracks are all here, the officers' quarters are here, the hospital's here. It's literally stepping back in time. It's time travel in a unique way. It'll be a tremendous resource for those who want to learn history, immerse themselves into history, and to use that history in such a way that they can continue to go to websites, such as the great site that is associated with this particular project, as well as, of course, the number of books that are out there, such as the one by Bill Leckie, the excellent book by Dobuck and Phillips called The Black Regulars, and a number of very fine publications that have come out since the 1960s. I am honored to serve on this with this group. It's an all-volunteer group. The funding was raised from the community. It is enhancing the community culturally and also in terms of a wonderful magnet to draw people to visit this fantastic town of San Angelo. My portion of this project is small, but I hope important, is to have some oversight, to do a little bit of fact checking, make sure that we only have so many words that we can put on the memorial. It's not newspaper on wall, and as a consequence, to make sure that the information is accurate, terse, and most importantly, is a compelling look at those Black soldiers and their families who sacrificed, who came west in the period after the Civil War, and who helped expand the nation into what we know today, not only in Texas, but truly in every state and territory, essentially across the Mississippi River, all the way to Alaska and to Hawaii. So we really encourage you. The opening will be this summer of 2023, and it'll be a major event, not only in this area, in this region, but I would argue it's a major event nationally. And it's not just Black history, it's not just military history, it's not just Western history, it's the history of the United States and its diverse peoples. Please come visit us.